for Surviving Rocklahoma. I'm your host, The Locks That Rocks, Adam Richmond, and I am joined by a special guest that I've been looking forward to for several weeks to get on this show. And of course, I'm talking about Travis Bond of Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls. What's up, Travis?
Hey, what's going on, Adam?
Not much, man. We just like everybody else in the state of Oklahoma and abroad. I'm just trying to fill in the time while we wait for that Rocklahoma lineup.
Oh, no doubt.
And I seen that you have released a new track lately, and the more I think about it, the more I hear the name and stuff. You've been extremely busy the last couple of years, even through the pandemic. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Travis. How long have you been getting into music?
Oh man, I started I just always was into music. I don't know. It was just always in me. I started singing at church when I was, 7 years old, doing specials on Easter Sunday and stuff like that. You know, I sang at school. I was in choir. I did all the national anthems, in junior high and high school, and I did weddings and all kinds of stuff in high school, and was making money just doing like little gigs here and there. And I ended up going to college on a music scholarship, and moved to Nashville for a little while in early 2000s, and then moved back to Tulsa and got married, and then got divorced, and then didn't do music for like 10 years and started a carpet cleaning business. And then through the carpet cleaning business, I ran into a customer that had a bunch of cool gear, and we started talking, and he needed a lead singer. And he wanted to do original music, which was right up my alley because I write a lot. So we started doing original music together, and it kind of spawned from there. We did that original band for a while, and in the meantime, I also had a cover band, 50 Whiskey, and I had kind of two bands. 50 Whiskey was going out and doing gigs and shows, and the original band was writing music, but we weren't doing shows. And then I got away from the cover band altogether and just focused on my original stuff. And then some of those members didn't work out, so I kind of reformed the Rebel Souls with Keith Allen. And we did that for a couple of years, and did a bunch of new music, and won some awards, and did some cool shows. And then kind of got to the end of the line with Keith, and he was ready to start the next chapter in his life doing something. I think he felt like he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish in Tulsa music, and he was really, I'm really proud of him. I think he's really proud of me, and we worked really well with each other, and he helped me to get where I am right now. And once he left, I decided to just restructure the whole band, and this was about last June. And so I got a new drummer, Zach Sims. He's absolutely incredible. I got Sheena Tyndall. She sings backup vocals, and she's just phenomenal. I ran into her here at the Tulsa music scene. I've got Matt Baber. He started playing keys with me in the original Rebel Souls a couple years ago. Adam Crowell, he started playing bass with the original Rebel Souls. Now he plays lead guitar. Matt plays keys, by the way. Chris Gabbard plays bass for us, and he actually played with me. He's been with me in just about every project, actually. He was in my original project to begin with. He was in 50 Whiskey. He's in this project now. And then we've been blessed also with Jocelyn on fiddle, and she's really incredible as well. So got a really, really great group of musicians that like what we're doing, and believe in it, and work really hard to make it happen. It's a lot of work, but we love it. It's fun.
That's awesome, man. And it's great to see how even when personalities and styles and just contributors come and go, that you're not letting it deter you, because anybody who's listened to any of your music knows that you've got a passion for what you do. And on a lighter note, I am so glad to hear that you can play in Texas now that you got a fiddle in the band. So
Yeah, right. Yeah. They'll let us in now. They'll let us in.
Good deal.
Well, we were actually, I had two guitar players, and this was even just at the end of last year. I had two guitar players. One of them just wasn't working out, and I needed to replace him. And so we went like a couple of months looking for some guitar players, and I ran across Jocelyn, and I thought, I wonder if we could just kind of change this whole thing up and throw a fiddle in there and just see what happens. And she came out, and she just kind of had everything that we were looking for. She, and just was just a great asset to the band in many ways. And I was like, you know what, this might be a cool direction, because I wanted two female background singers, and she can also sing as well, really great. So her and Sheena complement each other. I've got the two. It's like I got two in one. I got the fiddle player and background vocals as well. So it's a really cool deal. It's gonna change our sound just a little bit, but we'll just kind of see where it goes, where it takes us.
Well, and that's beautiful too, because I did notice that in your new track down here in Oklahoma, there you get a little bit of that fiddle as you play some of those
Yeah.
sounds that are just, I mean, really, it is the sound of the area. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Can you tell us a little bit about what, aside from the obvious, what brought on this wonderful ode to Oklahoma and its musical
Oh man,
heritage?
I don't know what specifically it was, off the top of my head, but I do remember it was a couple of years ago when I came up with the idea, and I even put kind of word out on Facebook trying to get ideas, and
Mhm.
nobody really was clicking with what I was going for. I wanted a way to honor musicians from Oklahoma, while at the same time honoring just the state of Oklahoma, in a way that would make anyone that was from here be proud. Anyone that listened to music from here was proud. Um, and I wanted to do it in a very unique way. And so my first thought was, well, let me start Googling a list of Oklahoma artists so I can kind of get a list going in my head of maybe how I can go about this. And so I just Googled the list, and uh, after writing down some names and looking at some song titles, I thought, I wonder if anyone's ever written a song where you use song titles of artists as the lyrics in the song, and I just kind of made them work together like that. And I don't know, it just kind of started flowing. I saw, this Roy Clark line, "We can't build a fire in the rain," and I heard a melody with that as soon as and I don't know that song, and that probably helped that I don't know that song, actually, because I might have had a different melody in my head. But when I heard that, I heard, "We can't build a fire in the rain," and then just kind of from there, it grew so easily. I had all these, still the Thunder Rolls, Garth Brooks, we got Reba McEntire, Fancy, and it just kind of started rolling. And for about a year, I had the first verse and the chorus written. And for about a year after that, it took me a minute to figure out where I was going to go with the second verse. I had a lot of different ideas going and whatnot, and then finally it all just kind of came together like a puzzle piece and clicked. And once that happened, I was like, man, this song has really got some potential. I think it really, really would be an awesome song to do for Oklahoma. And I got together with my buddy Matt Faber, who's our keyboard player, and a lot of times I'll go over to his house in his garage, and man, we'll stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, just like working on original ideas and stuff. I'll bring him stuff like this, and I'll say, hey man, let's get like a tempo down. He plays drums, he plays
Mhm.
keys, he can play guitar a little bit, and so uh we sat down and got a good rhythm going for it, and made a little demo, sent it out to the band, and then everyone kind of put their little flair on it, and I thought it turned out really great.
Wow, I love to hear how songs that I absolutely connect with come to fruition, and especially when it's something like that, when it's born in a place that's, paying homage and giving thanks to the area where you're that this fertile ground, where you
Yeah.
were able to get those seeds of your musical talent to germinate and sprout into something that's going to bear fruit, and then just hearing what everybody else brings into it. And that actually also leads me to something I like to talk to all of the artists that I feature about, is the songwriting process. Now, I've heard of some people that like to just sit down and just, all right, I'm going to bust out a song, and then they do it. And then some people, they could just be driving down the road or sitting on a toilet, and then all of this this
That's me.
song comes out.
That's
How
me.
does that process work for you?
Option B, number two.
While you're
Where
going number two?
maybe, maybe. You never know. You never know. It's the craziest thing. I can't even explain it. Now, the down here in Oklahoma was a little bit different. That one was intentional. I wanted to write a song about Oklahoma and Oklahoma artists and where they come from and where we're going and all that kind of stuff. But I would say 90% of my songs just pop into my head, and I get kind of a cool melody going. And the melody, I think, drives it, because once I hear this melody, I'm like, oh man, the right words with this would really kick ass, and I don't know if it's because I'm always kind of like thinking about writing songs, or it's always on the tip of my tongue, kind of, it feels like, but I can just come up with lyrics pretty easily, you know.
Mhm.
And I've always been great at writing, even just stories and stuff like that, journalism.
Yeah.
I just really like it. It comes really natural. So whenever I have those, and the melodies come really natural, I can sing a song about anything. It's crazy. But
And I do. I love this new track. Now last year, the year before, you also had another track that I also featured here on Surviving Rocklahoma. But as you said, it also got you a little bit of recognition there with the Tulsa Music Awards and stuff. Tell me a little bit about Feed the Wolf.
um so Feed the Wolf, that song hasn't done anything with the Tulsa Music Awards, because that one is still new.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
so that one would be, I'm hoping that it can be up for some kind of a nomination for the next music awards. I don't know how that's going to work,
Mhm.
because that one would have been in the awards that would have happened if COVID hadn't canceled it.
Right.
So I don't know if they'll take into account and go that far back, since, does that make sense? I don't know. It might just be like, missed the awards. It missed it. Just, it is, COVID. It just is what it is, you know. So it might have no recognition, or I might have an opportunity to have it. I don't really know. I know Ryan. I could ask him. I could ask him. He probably might know the answer to that question. So
No
I'm
worries.
not even I'm not even sure about any kind of details on
Mhm.
music awards or anything. But the last music awards we won was for the Screaming at the Moon album,
That's it. Yeah.
and we won Album of the Year, and that would have been 2 years in a row. We won Album of the
Mhm.
Year, which I was super proud of, because personally, that is to me, that's the best award. It is.
Mhm.
That's where you take all of your hard work and your ideas that came from thin air, and you record them and you put them in one thing, and you package it with the look that you want, and you have your thing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's
Yeah.
all right there. So it's like, you can pop that in, and either you like it or you don't. But that's like all of your work compiled. That's what we came up with. So whenever you get votes from people, especially when there's so many people in the category, and win that award, man, I just was, just it meant everything. Really meant everything. And then we won Rock Band of the Year
Mhm.
again. So it's been 2 years in a row for that one too. And that one's great. I mean, I'll take any of them. That's very, very awesome.
That's awesome.
But album of the year was the one that would have, if I would have just got that one, I'd been just fine. Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's just like for you, that's my favorite thing about doing this kind of thing is I've accumulated some nerd knowledge over the years, and I just love being able to put this stuff together to highlight the amazingly talented people that we have in Tulsa. And I'm so glad to see you Tulsa artists who, I don't want to confine you to Tulsa, but you homegrown heroes
Sure.
are getting the recognition that you guys deserve.
Thank
I
you.
know how extremely difficult it is to get that radio airplay. And fortunately, we've got a very booming podcast community that we can feature you all. And you were mentioning album of the year, and I really think this new one, Smoke Signals, uh, is going to put you right up there right in the mix again, so you can
Oh,
defend
man.
your crown. And I
100%.
mentioned Feed the Wolf a second ago, which is, you mentioned, is also included with this new song. Is that right? Do we got some more singles coming out this year?
So, well, the album will be released. I don't have an exact date yet, but I'm hoping really soon, within
Hmm.
30 days or so. Just depending, we have a few little kinks that we have to work out with, just a few things that have to do with recording and the studio and whatnot. But all the songs have been recorded for it. It's going to have 5 songs on it. Feed the Wolf is one of them.
Hmm.
So that's on this new album. Smoke Signals. Dandelion, that will be on this new album. Sharpshooter will be on the new album. Down Here in Oklahoma. And Guns, Freedom, and Money. And that's one that we're waiting to get back from mixing and mastering right now. That's the last one that we've recorded. So um,
Already in that title, that screams Oklahoma anyway.
oh man, there was so many reasons that Smoke Signals for me was the perfect name for that album. I don't know. Every song that is on that album relates to that word to me in a lot of ways. So and Oklahoma and the way we use the Oklahoma, shield symbol and everything. I thought I wanted to try to keep it classy and like we kept the blue background because the Oklahoma flag is blue, so I
Uh-huh.
didn't want to stray too far away from that. um and I thought, man, that peace pipe needs to have some smoke coming out of it. I mean, right? So but yeah, I and we were still managed to get the Thunderbird on there as well and add that in there. So
Absolutely. Here, I'm going to throw
I'm
this up
really excited about that. We're planning on
on the
having.
screen so those who are watching can see it. That is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful graphic. That's one of the best graphics I've seen.
Oh man.
Just to be honest, the color is the coloration on it, the actual smoke coming from the peace pipe, and the Thunderbird, and that Thunderbird is represented in everywhere that I see Travis Bond. So I'm
That's
just
right.
kind of curious about that Thunderbird, and is that just always been something part of you, or is there a
I just
story behind
always,
that?
I always like the Thunderbird as a symbol of strength and power, determination, just all those things. And it's my tattoo. So, and it all kind of stemmed from when I started the Rebel Souls with Keith Allen. I always wanted to have that tattoo right there, and I wanted it to be one of a kind. I didn't want it to be replicated from anything else. And so I gave him a few designs that I liked, and he kind of smashed all those together and came up with that. And I put it on my arm because I loved it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to use that to brand and just put it on everything. And it, might as well start now. It's cool. It's one of a kind. I like what it stands for. And so I try to incorporate it where I can for those reasons, that people can associate my name with that or that with my name or whatever.
Oh, I love it, and I think it suits you very well. Now, also talking about what fuels your music, I'm looking right now on your Facebook page, and your about says Travis Bond is an original Southern fried rock and roll artist with soul and attitude from Tulsa. And I think that is just the perfect description of my friend here, whom we're joined with on Surviving Rocklahoma, Travis Bond of Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls, award-winning
What's up?
Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls. Tell us a little bit about that Southern fried rock and roll. What kind of just developed the style? Did you have any big influences?
Yeah, definitely. So back in 2000 and I believe 11, I got to go to see a band called BlackBerry Smoke.
Yes.
And at this time, they were about a month away from releasing their third album, and they had been touring a lot, but they were still one of those bands that were just old school, hitting the road really hard and releasing albums when they could, however they could, and just they were 110% into the music, and um, they whenever I saw them, they were releasing, like I said, their third album, and man, they just hit me like I've never been hit before, and I just fell in love with the guys. I bought their album on pre-sale at their concert there in McKinney, Texas, and I wore by the time that album came out on Spotify, where everyone else could hear it, I had already wore it smooth out and knew it inside and out. I just loved it so much. And then I introduced it to my wife, and she fell in love with it immediately. I played her One Horse Town by BlackBerry Smoke. It's off their Whippoorwill album. And I said, just listen to this, you know. And I'm from Pahuska. It's a small one stoplight town
Right.
where, you know, when you graduate high school, you need to decide pretty quick if you're going to stick around there or not.
Hmm.
Because if you stick around too long, you're going to have a real hard time leaving,
It's
you know.
quicksand. Yeah.
And that's kind of what that song is about. And as soon as she heard his voice, she was just like, oh my gosh, the guy's voice, you know. And I was like, every song on this album is fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
And so we kind of fell in love with the band together, and it actually kind of bonded us in a lot of ways. And we both became big BlackBerry Smoke fans as a couple. It's our favorite band. And
Great.
I've
That's
seen them, I think it's 7 times. And in October, I'm going to go to Red Rocks and see them again, front, third row, center. And but those guys definitely influenced me tremendously with my original music. I grew up. My main influences are probably Garth Brooks,
mhm.
Steven Tyler, Rob Thomas, Blackberry Smoke. Those are as far as like my music, you know, and what I write and how it comes together and develops. And whenever I think of how to write good songs, I refer back to those artists and how they write songs, and even just delving into their lives of knowing how they actually wrote some of their songs, you know, and where they come from. I think it helps. So yeah, definitely all of those. But I just love their Southern kind of style.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I don't know, Blackberry Smoke is definitely Southern rock, like beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Mhm.
And I don't know what to categorize us. I know that it says that on there, but the music has changed a little bit even still. And I don't know. I don't think we have enough blues in our music to necessarily be called Southern rock. So I don't know. I don't know what we'd be called. It's rock, it's country, it's some of our stuff. You know, Feed the Wolf is definitely not a country music song at all. You know, but then down here in Oklahoma, it's got that fiddle in it,
Yeah.
and it's got that. You know, I mean, it's got to have a little bit of a country sound. I think if we're gonna make it an Oklahoma song, and I think that it really just has that ambiance of Oklahoma, and when that fiddle just has it all in there. I love it. I love it.
100%. And I can't wait to play this for everybody. Remember, guys, you can follow Surviving Rocklahoma on Facebook. We do a live show every Sunday night at 9 p.m. And this interview will be featured on there. You can also check the full length interview right here on YouTube. And once again, I'm joined by Travis Bond of Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls. He's basically talking over his new album and the last album, which won a couple of local awards. Travis, tell me a little bit what you got got going on right now as we hopefully, fingers crossed, near the edge of the pandemic forest, and we can start getting back to some semblance of normal life.
So right now, we are working hard on everybody in the band has normal jobs, you know, so we're juggling kids and jobs and the band and schedules and this and that. A few of us work for the school systems, and like Adam, our guitar player, he's like a, you know, a really important part of the Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center. And so near the end of the school year, man, he was super busy, like a lot. And so we weren't able to have practices for a little while. A lot, you know, we usually practice twice a week, really, you know, on a really good regimen. And we all like it. We enjoy it. It's fun. It's fulfilling, and we get a lot of stuff done. But the last 6 or 7 weeks, we haven't had regular practices, and it's been really weird. And especially we have some shows coming up in about a month from now, you know, so we have a lot to prepare for. Everyone's out of school right now, and our schedules are totally clear. We have like, you know, 8 or 9 practices between now and our first show, which is in Chickasha, Oklahoma, for Twister Fest. And we'll be playing on Friday night there. Man, they just hooked us up, man. I don't know if I sweet talked them or what, but we got Friday night on their main stage, 10 o'clock at night. So we're just going to deliver and just pounding into the ground. It's going to be a super fun party. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got a lot of family that lives in Chickasha, so they're all going to come out and see me. And it's going to be like a little family reunion
Hmm.
from a lot of family I haven't seen in a while, and some people from here in Tulsa that I hear are traveling down there to see us. So it's be really cool. And then we have a show the very next night, um, just a little less than 24 hours later, right here in Bixby, which is where I live now.
Hmm.
Downtown Bixby at Charlie Young Park. Every year they have the Bixby Green Corn Festival. They didn't have it last year for COVID. I
Hmm.
played at it the year before that, with the Rebel Souls, and I played it the year before that, when I had the Travis Bond band. So I was really super just humbled that they asked me to play, and they're super excited about having us play. Um, uh, they wanted us to play like a 3 hour show, and we don't have that much music right now. We just haven't had enough time to rehearse with all this group of people in our band to do that yet. And we're doing original music. We only do maybe 20% covers. You know what I mean? Maybe.
That's awesome. And a lot of
So
people are struggling just to get 30 minutes on a stage. And here you are being asked for a 3-hour set. That's amazing.
I think a lot of people are still just wanting, kind of like what you would do at a bar type scene.
Mhm.
And so it's been a little challenging because I've had to say, hey, we're really about right now about an hour and a half is about what we can do. Come August, we'll have a full 2 hour show, and I really don't want to play more than that. I like doing these festivals where we can just pack in an hour of our best stuff and just knock it out of the park and we'll end on a high note. You know what I mean? Um,
Heck yeah.
Rather than wear myself out for 3 or 4 hours, coming up with 45 or 50 songs. Um, so I really do enjoy that. But that being said, I had to find a way to fill that time slot at the Bixby Green Corn Festival. And so they allowed me to find an opening band for us. And so I got Fifth Element is going to come and open up for us at the Bixby Green Corn Festival. So they're a fantastic band. I've got to actually, they've invited me on stage to sing with them down at Lenny's. And I know some of those folks in that band, and they're great people. They're great musicians. They're very entertaining. They play fun music, and they play it so damn good. And so that was the first band that came to my mind when I was trying to find somebody to open up for us. So I got a hold of Christy King and talked to her, and I guess she got with the band, and so they're going to open up for us, I believe, around 6 o'clock. Maybe it's 7. I might have to look back into that. I'm going to make an event, and with the time and invite everybody to that or whatever. But so yeah, that's Green Corn Festival, and basically leading up to that right now, what I've got going on is trying to get those practices in so we can be totally prepared for these shows coming up. And in the meantime, I have about 3 weeks or so to get this album wrapped up, get all the artwork packaged and all the CDs and T-shirts and everything ready to go, because I want to have when we start doing shows, I want to have all of our matching merchandise for our promoting the new album and whatnot too. So we're looking into getting some stuff on vinyl in the future. I don't know if I'll have that in a month or so, but I'm wanting to get the album on vinyl as well. We've looked into that, and I think that's doable. And it's something I collect vinyl, so I would love to have my own stuff on vinyl. I think it'd be really cool.
That's
I know there's
awesome.
a few others that would too. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So just trying to keep all my ducks in a row and get all this stuff done in time.
You bet. It sounds like you've got some great time management, and time is flying by. So remember, folks, make sure that you are checking out Travis Bond's and Travis Bond and the Rebel Souls Facebook and social media accounts. I'll drop all of those links into the description of this video so that you can look them up, and make sure you're watching. Make sure you like and follow, so that way when he does create that event and whenever he adds events to his dance card, you guys are going to know where he's going to be performing. And so,
We have
Travis,
a
I know we
website you can
can't
check out.
say any yes, no's, or anything. All we can say is, are
No,
you
not the post.
available this fall?
I have some availability for maybe a certain thing, just depending on what it would be. Probably early September-ish.
But we should probably know sometime in a couple of weeks what your fall
Yes,
card looks like, right?
I would think so. Yep.
Okay.
So I've heard. Who knows? Who knows?
Let me tell you guys, I'm slicker than snot on a doorknob. So we, Travis, thank you so much for joining me and just kind of letting us get a peek behind those amazing tunes that you put out and those performances you get put on the stage. You have your own style, you have your own branding and stuff. It's hard to mistake you for anyone else, although you obviously represent some of the traits and the characteristics that make Oklahoma unique and special, especially to this area. So I always like to give my guests, before we wrap things up, your opportunity to give give any shout outs you want to, promote your upcoming gigs. The stage is yours. This is your spotlight. Travis, what are you working on? What's coming up for you?
Yeah, man, I'd like to give some shout outs to some people for sure. Daniel Warrior, he's just kind of like I call him the Ghost Rebel Souls. They're kind of like behind the scenes people that help me do stuff, that album cover we were discussing, Dan and I sat down together at a computer, and he did all the stuff on the computer that I don't know how to do, and he made my vision come to life and look like that. So, big shout out to him. And that's just one of the many things that he's done, and continues to do. My band is awesome. They're great. I got a shout out to my wife because she's a huge inspiration. And a lot of my songs are inspired by her in some way or another. A lot of them really are. And she's the one that'll tell me, like, or, real quick. She'll just let me know. But Keith Allen, a shout out to him too. He still helps me out in a lot of ways. He's still a good friend. Appreciate him a lot. Anyone that's really had my back, because I'm just trying to kind of follow a dream that I've had for a long time, and it's an uphill battle always, I'm not making like big bucks off of it. Probably losing way more, my wife supports me to an extent. We got to make that work too. We got to figure out what that is, like the lines that we can draw and how far we can go. But she's willing, to back me up on that kind of stuff, and because she believes in me, so that's huge. And but yeah, it's just a lot of dreaming, basically. I don't know. I have
That's
songs, and I feel like it's very rewarding when I finally get to put them out there and people can hear them. I went out last night and did some karaoke at a little place here in Bixby that I'll frequent every 6 months or so. And there's a lot of people in there that are fans of mine and friends of mine, and they came up to me last night, and I hadn't seen them in 6 months, and so many of them told me how much that down here in Oklahoma like meant to them, and it just really meant a lot to me. If it touches one person, it's just really super cool. And to know that there's people out there that are just playing it on repeat and learning all the words, and it means something to them. It's just a connection, with other people. It's really cool.
that is so
Very, very
beautiful.
rewarding. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Travis, for joining me and having a seat and letting me play your tracks. We're going to be playing several on the show, and we're going to continue to share your events and stuff as you get things coming up. So feel free to email me and shoot me a message anytime that you want to. You've got something coming up, so we can let everybody know where they're playing. And that same goes for anyone else who is watching this video. If you got a band, if you've got musical projects coming up, or maybe you're just wanting to help out the artists like Travis or anyone else and support that talent and help them achieve those dreams and get to larger and larger platforms, and you never know, larger festivals and stages. Who knows what the
That's what
future
it's all
can bring.
about.
But we'll be getting a certain announcement or two in the next couple of weeks. We'll also never know what's going to be coming up since all of these venues are starting to open up. Travis may have something before these festivals that he had mentioned in the video. What's your next performance date, Travis?
Our next performance date is the Chickasha Show on June 25th. It's a Friday. And then
Great.
the very next night we'll be in Bixby at the Green Corn Festival, June 26th on a Saturday. And then a week later on Saturday, we have CanaFest in Depew, Oklahoma. And that's July 3rd. Yeah, that'll be really fun. That's with Route 66, the 66 Kicks Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be playing August 13th at the Caps Steakhouse in Bristow on Keystone Lake.
Wow.
And then after that comes Labor Day weekend. I know they're having the Redneck Raft Out. I want to give a shout out to those guys out there who make all that happen. Jeff Silvers and Amanda Silvers, they're awesome. And they're having some great bands out there. We played there last year. And this year they have a whole new lineup, and they're having Framing the Red out there, some friends of ours.
Yes.
The Georgia Thunderbolts, which I am super excited about seeing. They've opened up for Blackberry Smoke, so I thought that was pretty cool. We'll go out there and spend some time, and yeah, that's on Labor Day weekend. So I'm gonna be doing the Redneck Raft Out thing on Saturday because that's when they have it. I'm free
Mhm.
Friday night so far, but my plan is to have plans on Friday night at some point, and then make my way to the Redneck Raft Out on Grand Lake.
Man, you are so busy. So as you guys can see, no matter where you are at in Oklahoma and abroad, some rebel souls may be coming to a town near you. So be sure you follow his Facebook page so that you get all of those updates. And you can also follow Surviving Rocklahoma. I'll be including those dates in my calendars as well. Huge and please head on over to survivingrocklahoma.com, click the calendar tab, and there's a calendar where I keep all of the upcoming events as I see them. And your man Travis Bond will also be on those, included among those. So fingers crossed that we see him in Pryor, Oklahoma this fall. We don't know. We will know in a couple of weeks. But as always, you can keep it tuned right here. So Travis, once again, thank you so much. I know you've got things to do. It sounds like you're a busy man. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. You want to see us out?
Hey, yeah, man, I do. And I want to thank you for asking me to be on the show. It means a lot, man. There's a ton of great musicians and a ton of talent in Oklahoma. We've already established that. And that you would have me on the show really means a lot. Um, Man, just thank you very much. I appreciate your support in every way.
No
And I
problem.
thank you, all my fans and everybody that listens to my stuff and buys our merch and comes to our shows and supports us. Thank you so much. It means the world. That's what it's all about. I can sing to myself in the shower.
You bet. So make sure you're supporting Travis Bond. Get those tickets, get that merch. And man, his graphics are so cool too. I don't care if you listen to his music or not. Just buy one of those cool shirts and rock the hometown. So
Right.
as we do every week, guys, please join me Sunday nights at 9 p.m. for Surviving Rocklahoma Live. But until then, as always, rock on.